Welcome to Sculpture Studios. We're working on a job now for Marks & Spencer's, and here on the TV in England there was recently a Christmas advert that was directed by and featured Helena Bonham Carter. For those of you that haven't seen it, the commercial promotes the Marks & Sparks Christmas range, and the whole style of the advert takes on a kind of children's fairy tale film. We invited Vicky down to our studio to talk the project through, and she mentioned that after the Alice in Wonderland scene on the commercial, there's a brief shot of a spinning signpost, and that this is what they wanted replicated for an actual shop exhibition in London so that it links the commercial and the store together. We discussed the best way to go about the work, bearing in mind that the signpost we create needs to be able to accommodate an electric motor on top that Vicky's company will add later. This will allow the signage to revolve around the pole itself, so we need to make sure it's a good fit. Aidan begins by carving half of the lamppost from polystyrene and moves on to creating a waste mould. This means that the mould itself is only strong enough for having a couple of casts taken from it, and by using scrim material and plaster Paris, it's a very cost-effective method for this particular job. For the signs, we're using a foam that's topped with thin card to create extremely lightweight plaques that the motor should have no trouble rotating with. We cut out all the letters individually and we seal the grey edges with black paint. We invited Vicky back, as she was in charge of overseeing everything from the aesthetics of our work to the electronics and installation of the motor, and generally making sure that everything was on track and fit together nicely. With Aidan, she goes through any changes and reiterates how the signs might be positioned on top once the motor section's in place. At the bottom of the post itself, we attach it to a solid plywood base with a hole in the bottom, and we create a trap door so that the engineers can fit the electronics and it can all be resealed once everything's installed. The post is made from glass fibre, and 2 casts were taken from the original mould that you saw earlier, and then joined to create a strong and durable tube-like structure that we can rub down and paint. It's given an overall cover of white, and then Aidan uses black paint and hones down on the detail. In order to look like a real signpost, we apply paints as opposed to graphic transfers to make it look like the real thing. Unfortunately, we didn't receive any finished shots of the signpost on location in the London store window, but it pretty much looked like the one on the advert. And remember, this isn't just a signpost, it's an M&S signpost.